Okay, hi everybody. If you feel like your examples and your essays aren't the best, then this video is for you, right? In this video, we're going to talk about how to better use examples in tech essays. And I'm going to give you 3 examples you can use across a variety of tech essays, right? It can be tech, it can be AI, but these are usable examples, right? And they're not the kind of narrow examples that you can only use for one essay and you forget about them ever again. So let's just get right into it. 3 examples, and the last one is going to be very good for you. Okay, all of these examples come from the New York Times, right? And we do these things called readings. Basically, we extract an article and then try to reverse engineer ideas and examples from it. The first example is this, right? That it's been stated in this article that it's actually relatively more affordable to use AI to create a virus that could kill millions of people, right? And in relative to actually creating a vaccine. So what I always tell our students is that it's not only the example itself that is important, but it's also how you explain and evaluate the example, right? I repeat that very important idea. It's not just what you write, it's about how you explain it. Because 2 students can use the very same example, but they can have very different outcomes. It's a lot on the how you explain it. So this is how I will explain this example. There are 2 levels to this, right? The normal student, if you're already using these level of example, you're already a step above everybody else. But we want to go further than that. So the first level of explanation here is that the dilemma between human innovation and progress, as well as the danger that it can be weaponized. Because while we want to give human society, we want to give society and humans the freedom to innovate and create new technology, right, and progress society forward, there is always this lingering danger that it can be weaponized because these technologies are neutral, but they can be wielded by malicious actors to create harms to society. So the first way you want to evaluate or explain this example in your essay is talking about the neutrality of the neutrality of these technologies, right? And that if you want to push society forward and we want to innovate, we also are open to the risk of it being weaponized. And the second level of evaluation or explanation that you can do is this, right? And is that when technology or when AI develops so quickly, there will naturally be a lack of regulation because regulation is generally reactive. What that means is that it's playing catch up. Something bad happens, I create a law or I create legislation to control that or try to mitigate against that kind of scenarios. But that means that normally what will happen is that the issue will happen first. It will devastate society for a while before I create a rule to control it or to tackle it, right? So it's always reactive. And that means that there will be harm to society unless unless the legal system is so proactive, right? So preemptive that it tackles this, but it's very rare, right? Or it's almost unseen. Okay, that's the first example. The second example is this. It's about job displacement and job loss, right? If you want to talk about this, I'll phrase it as job displacement. It's the same idea as job loss, right? But it just means that you're removed from your original job. In the article, a very key idea is that it's not just displacement for one group of people, it's across all rungs of society, from truck drivers to lawyers and even coders. And here is the interesting idea, right? That we previously thought as a society that white collar jobs were not immune, right? What's the traditional advice that parents give? Study hard, you go to school, and then you graduate and get a good job and it's secure. But it's actually this traditional wisdom seems to be tilted now, right? Because it seems like the bigger countries, the bigger companies, the big tech companies like Google, Meta, they're laying off employees, right? Huge layoffs. And these employees actually are your traditional higher salary jobs, right? So the idea here is that white collar jobs are not immune, right? The traditional idea has been tilted. In fact, there is a greater profit incentive to remove them, whether are you a company or whether are you the creator of the technology, right? If you're the company, there's a greater profit incentive to remove them because you save more money. And if you're the creator of the technology or the AI, if you can displace higher skilled labor, then your software is worth more, right? So the first level evaluation is this, that it's not just displacement in one sector of the economy, but across different sectors and different ranks of society, right? And it's not just, again, it's not just white collar jobs that it's not just your manual jobs, manual labor jobs, right, that are being displaced. In fact, we are seeing more white collar jobs being displaced as well. The level 2 evaluation is this. This nature of unemployment is even more dangerous, right? And because it's harder for a mid-career professional, say you're a lawyer and coder, right? And you're like maybe like mid-30s, mid-40s, it's more difficult for you to retrain and reskill and go into another industry. Additionally, because the gap between AI and humans is always increasing, right? This is the rate that AI is increasing at, and this is the rate that humans will improve at, like linear, correct? I shouldn't draw it like that. Maybe I just draw it like that. So the thing is that over time, what's going to happen is that the gap between AI and the gap between humans will only get larger and larger as we draw out this time scale, right? As I draw this out, the gap will only get larger and larger. So the idea here is that firstly, it's difficult to retrain and reskill. Secondly, even if you retrain and reskill, you are still facing the risk, right? That we are in an age of AGI, right? General artificial intelligence. So whatever you reskill and retrain into, you still have the ever looming risk of being continually displaced. So this nature of unemployment is even more dangerous. And you can even talk about how it coincides with economic cycles with inflation, right? So the damage felt on people who lose their jobs now is even more burdensome, or it's even more devastating because nowadays everything is so expensive. So if you lose your job now, you feel the emotional and financial impact a lot more. Okay, the last example, and before I go into the last example, I just want to say that we have a free WhatsApp community, right, for students, and we have unlimited free classes inside. If you're interested in joining that, just click on the link below, fill out the form, and then we'll get in touch with you. All right, good. Okay, last example. Everybody knows this example, right? AI creating explicit inappropriate content. It's very, very normal. But again, it's not just the example, but it's about how you explain the example. So the example here, the two ways I will explain this example. Firstly, right, is this, the damage is twofold. Not only is it damaging to the person's credibility, but to society. When most students explain this, they will only either talk about the damage to the person or the damage to society, right? But you want to say that, hey, the damage that AI has, right, when we use deepfake is that it's actually twofold. It's to the person and it's to the society. And the level 2 idea here is this, right? It causes irreparable damage because it leverages the influence and social clout of someone which they have built over a long period of time. Because, like, let's say you're a public figure like Donald Trump, and then there's a deepfake that comes out that there is a deepfake video of you saying something that's inappropriate, politically inappropriate, right? While it's possible to take it down and to give some correction statement, the damage to your brand, reputation, and credibility cannot be undone, right? So this is irreparable damage. And we can do that because we leverage the influence and social clout of someone that's been built over a long period of time. So what I hope for you is that after looking at these examples, in the future, if you have a very AI-centric essay, right? A lot of people before, they'll use examples like ChatGPT, right? They'll use examples like Google Maps. They'll use examples like some like random smart robot, maybe like a self-service kiosk. I want you to move into something, I want you to move into like weaponization for mass destruction. You can talk about the interplay between job loss, right, and economic cycles. You can also talk about AI's profit incentives, right? You can also talk about deepfakes leveraging the credibility from public figures. So remember, right, if the quality of examples are better, not only is it immediately a visual reminder to the examiner that your essay is higher quality, but it also opens the road for you to do a lot more interesting evaluation, right? And write a lot more interesting explanation. So not only does it improve your content, it will naturally improve your language marks as well. Okay, that's it for today. I'll try to do more of this. If there are any other questions, please drop them in the comments box below. All right, say bye.